Hey there. I'm about to go for a walk. This is me just woken up and going for a walk. A few days ago, I made a video about how it still feels really bad. I was judging others, and then I realized that underneath that judgment was my own embarrassment and shame around holding on tightly to things that sometimes things that are not mine. And like when I've had relationships with or with friends and they've given me something and something was supposed to have, I don't know. Anyway, like I have a lot of my ex-partner's stuff in my house that I was like, I'm poor, so I'm not gonna throw it away. But then I noticed that it's with a lot of things. There's something there, something, ooh, it doesn't feel good. So this morning, I'm starting to grab stuff I'm going to get rid of it. I've decided that I'm going to cleanse my house off of these things. And I'm noticing this morning that it's bigger. um, because I started with the details, like little stuff in my kitchen drawers. I was like, I don't want to get rid of this thing. It's really, I use it a lot. I'm like, okay, but I am getting rid of it. I can do without it. And then moving on to bigger and bigger things and pans and things like that and the mixer and it's like, okay, I can live without that. I'm fine. Then I go into my closet. I'm like, oh, these closet spaces. Okay, also have to go. Like, ooh, it's getting bigger and bigger. Now I'm now I'm sitting in the car and I've just realized I was talking before also about how secrets are kept and like how when you grow up and there can be this grouping together of warmth and safety, and that that later on in life you can have confusion because no one's ever been safe, and so whenever someone's warm, like kind, then you equate that with safety. But now I'm realizing that I can feel my body vibrate in not nice ways when I try to say my truth about people or situations, and I feel the need to like to say, okay, there can be different perspectives. And you know what? This morning I realized that it's also coming from that I am economically or materially tied to these situations or people, and therefore I am not able to speak purely for myself because how will I survive? I was like, whoa! And wow, there's a lot. Like, my parents, like, especially my dad, they support me in order to have a bit of a nicer life than I would on a government grant only. And yeah, I have been feeling weird about that, but I would also just like shove it back down because it's like, yeah, so how am I going to survive? And now I'm really realizing how big this is and how difficult it is to, if you've not decided to purge yourself of the things. So I'm speaking to myself, okay, because I'm right in the process, but it's easier to just say it like this. If you've not purged yourself off of the things that belong to others or have a bad energy attached to them, it's very hard to to also feel like you can have your own ground. Like that's anyway for me because I'm coming from this codependence place and I'm just realizing this. Like within me there are parts of me that are loyal to people and situations because those things are still sustaining me. I'm feeling really sad about this because it's great to realize, and now I'm going to go into this process, and I know it's gonna really help me. And wow, you know. But now I also was realizing that it's also a women's thing, or in society, like anyone who is having to depend on others, that maybe you don't agree with them, and that you have this like this baseline loyalty because your body is dependent on survival on these things or people or situations. I am thinking of all the weird ways. I'm thinking of how the patriarchy works. I realized about how as women, I know it's not only women, but you know, with I think for many women will recognize this when I say this, um, like even beauty or getting attention from men. Um, there are deep, deep energies in this feeling of it's mine, he's mine, or you know, I'm just like my mind is kind of being blown away. Um, and there was some specific things also, and like yesterday I was realizing that there's a situation that's going on that I couldn't really talk about, um, and that I do want to talk about, and it's got a lot to do with emotions and not really being clear on why do I feel these emotions when, like, for the purity of who I feel that I am or I'm growing into be, there's something about this that feels off, um, that feels disrespectful to like my way of being. But I can feel also inside me these like big movements of like drive to say like no, there's a reason for this, and you know, maybe we can figure it out in our head. And I'm telling you, it's been months, so it's been very weird to see how my mind can take over and say okay, we just need to find a reason for why this is okay to have all these feelings, and just to you know, to deal with this situation. Okay, so later on you will hear what this is all about. But for now, I do really realize how the competition between women has also been one of access to means, access to material ways to survive, access to safety, and men providing that, or society providing that, and therefore how can you ever step away from, you know, things that provide you with that? We are humans, like our body actually will like push us in a direction to safety and to be provided for. So these are very big realizations for me. I suppose that I can't really, I know the emotions that I'm going through, and that this is a process that I need to go through, and I don't know what I'm going to meet on the way. And sometimes like our principles and our mind concepts can be like, it must be this way, and yeah, I understand, but reality is what we need to deal with. So this kind of went a whole like deep. I I have known, like when I put on makeup and when I feel really powerful, there's a part, of course, like yeah, I get to be that person because that is me. Of course that's me. But another part of it was like there can be this power grab. I feel it, like I really feel it. Like I talked to my friend like years ago, and she was also saying like when she puts on makeup, she's like, the world is mine. Mine. I gotta have it. And then And then there's also like this very weird fear that comes up of like when you don't put on your makeup, like, is anyone even gonna pay attention to me? I'm not saying that from a now place, but I have gone through all of these emotions and like wondering, why am I putting on my makeup right now? Is it because I want to get away from this very negative feeling that I'm having, or from this fear that I'm having? And to the contrast, like, I remember for me, like a scene of walking into a train. In Holland we have a lot of, in the train there's these compartments, and they're like, there'll be like seats for, I don't know, 50 to 80 people in one compartment of the train. And I would have this feeling, like knowing like when I put on my makeup, I'm like, I can grab all the attention. It's like I'm the wind of here is where it's happening. I'm the center of the hurricane, and it goes as I want. It's a great feeling. And I walk into this part of the train, and I can feel I am carrying energy. It's like my hair is like waving energy. I think these things are very real. And my face, I get to not look at anyone and just go to where I want to be, and I can feel all the energy coming towards me, all the people looking at me, all the men looking at me and being like, ugh, my heart just stopped, you know? Um, I'm even having to catch my breath from saying this. Um, because that's the thing, like, I don't know. I know that there's some things that are wrong with that, and I know that there's some things that are right about that, but but it's not like the only thing that I can have it be. Someone walking around wondering what am I doing? This lady is just talking in her car. Yes. That's what's going on. So yeah, and I can really see how, like, even talking, between women, like telling each other, like, you are a queen, you are okay. It doesn't matter, like, what you look like and what the thing. It's like, it's still gonna matter, because there is still, especially like for me, if I have not stepped out of actually, you know, these things of like property, that there is still something going on there. I am with That's the video that I made a few days ago, that I haven't posted. I don't know. I will post it before I post this. Um, there is a fear that I will not be provided for if I let go of these things. And because I felt so embarrassed about being that way, being so desperate, I was judging other people. I could feel in the way that I was judging other people or being angry at my ex-partner for something that's happened now. I could feel that I am I am just as much a part of this, and it's my job, yeah, to feel in the vibration of my expression, where I can actually take some accountability for my energy. And like, to my ex, I think he really played the role of someone who was providing for me in so many ways. And it was hard for me to accept that. Yeah. And also that there were situations actually where he was telling me realities like this, and I talked about that in a video that I made yesterday, which is also, it's coming online. But that I was like buying into his truth because it was not like something that was conscious, but obviously I feel now I couldn't tell him like, yeah, I'm not going with you in this kind of reality bubble that you're creating because it's not true. And and I wasn't doing that because I was relying on him. Like I I didn't have a lot of money, so as soon as he was like saying, "Don't worry about it, I will pay for it." And it would be like I would feel discomfort at that. Like I want to make sure that I'm staying like independent in my being to, you know, to stay being me. It was for me it's a very, I know that this is a very deep thing. It's really important for me to keep an eye on that. And yeah, I that was years ago. And maybe there was also no way for it. I mean, I'm really glad that relationship is over, because there were discrepancies that I was accepting, and it actually kind of did make me feel crazy, and it did make me realize that that I was abandoning myself in order to survive, and I don't believe in that anymore. I I am in the practice of trust that the universe is providing for me, and it's up to me. I it's up to me to make the right choices, and to see what opens up for me. And I think paradise is that kind of truth. And it doesn't really matter. You know, for me, it's easy to say because I can see a way through, and I do really trust. So it's not like it's not like I feel like I have to go through hell. And I'm gonna, obviously this is my process. I'm not gonna allow myself to have to go through hell in order to prove a point. Okay, this is all I wanted to say. It's like all of this, like being mixed up in things that you actually don't believe are okay, and realizing how anger has been a cover up for very uncomfortable emotions. And I feel like it's in a lot of areas. Yeah, and it's, yeah, growing up with people who don't tell you the truth but are also like your caretakers. And yeah, that's where I feel like Stockholm syndrome is there, and other like ways of being loyal to those people that you actually hate, because you know, having all those emotions smushed into one, it's just, it will drive a person just mad. And I think that's what I'm going to start, that I'm starting to purge myself from, to really have clarity and pull the things apart. And I know it's an enormous privilege, and I hope that you share this sentiment with me, to not like put people down. Or I know I can be harsh in my expression. Maybe you don't think so. I need that fire also. And just these last 20 days or so, I have been like just feeling like I hate the world. Like, and I've just because I'm not judging myself like that's a bad thing. I have just been able to feel how, like, even today, and grabbing some of the stuff, like, oh, this is a bag that I use every day, but it's actually something that I, I, it was a present, it was a Christmas box present or something from my ex, his work. And then I was like, wow. And he's like, you want this, don't you? And I'm like, yeah. And like, he was like, yeah, I can't say no. So I've basically been using that bag every day since then. So that's been like 2, 3 years. And today I was looking at it like, oh shit. Also that. I just was like, yes, thank you. and I think I still get to do that because I like that I started accepting things that were just being given to me, but also it's got to be the right energy. And I gotta say that bag was quite nice energy, but I think I am gonna get rid of just all of those things to just be able to start over. And oh, I got into this tangent. Yeah, I kind of wanted to say also, like, it's hard to clarify relationships when it's so mixed up. And it's hard to be angry at people when you're still like living off of their hand me downs or like their support. And I've just been feeling mad. And that's helped me get to this moment. So I hope this is helping you to start looking at your emotions, because I know that like from a very long time ago, and the people that I get involved in, like the reason that they're not facing a lot of the problems is because the emotions are like everything's too mixed up and it's like so much, and they're not having these moments where they're trying to solve it and pull it apart and take action. Like you need to take action, otherwise the emotions can't have a new situation, you know. And you take action and the situation has changed, and then you get new emotions that show you more truth. So you need to go down the rabbit hole. All right, thank you for following this. See you next time. Have a blessed day. Watch your energy, honor your energy. There is truth. There is truth everywhere. I am discovering. All right. Bye.